I decided to make the transition to offshore wind because I realized that the world needs people to work in this environment, in this industry. I mean, we all are aware of the repercussions that climate change is bringing on a day-to-day basis, and I decided that I needed to be part of the solution going forward instead of staying in what has already been established in an industry such as oil and gas. And I really wanted to focus on being able to use my experience and my knowledge into something that could make the future better for everyone. I must say that the experience in Africa really changed my entire outlook, and it's kind of one of the things that made me want to pursue a career in offshore wind and away from oil and gas. Africa, of course, was an amazing experience. I was living in Lagos, Nigeria, working with locals, training younger engineers, understanding the culture, the different regulations that are in place, the different clients that are in the region, and yeah, learning about the different tribes, different languages, different heritages, which was incredible for me. And I really was able to see firsthand when projects are built up correctly with everyone in mind, how much of an impact that can have to different industries. Being able to spend time in Africa and with the small villages, small schools, really prompted me to want to pursue something larger than just myself, which is why I went on to take the path that I chose. So I decided to move to Texas, where I pursued a degree in offshore and coastal systems engineering from Texas A&M University, at which point, after I graduated, I joined the energy industry out of Houston, Texas, working in the oil and gas fields offshore in the Gulf of Mexico. And then I decided to transition to clean energy. So I made a move to Germany, where I worked in Europe for about a year and a half, and eventually made the move back to the US to start contributing towards building up the first offshore wind projects in the US. There's, I think, close to 800 different job positions that people could pursue to build up these offshore wind farms. That it can be anything from scientists, marine mammal observers, pilots, ROV techs. You can be part of the marine transportation side of things. You can be part of the port logistics. I mean, there's many ways to get into the industry. So I think for younger people coming in, it's a matter of pursuing what it is that interests you, whether you want a 9-to-5 sort of job or one where you're in the field, working different shifts. I would say for young students to pursue a career in the offshore wind industry and the energy industry as a whole is to first understand that this is something that is needed. Currently, as I said previously, we're experiencing what we are due to climate change and global warming, and there's many ways that young engineers or young students can help tackle these big problems. So I think for kids, the main thing I would say is to keep an open mind and have an education sort of geared so that you can understand all the different aspects that you can get into. So be curious about the problem that we have at hand and be curious about different ways in which they can tackle it. It's not just one solution will get us the answer. So I would say to stay curious, to ask around, to use the resources that are available. There's projects globally in offshore wind, in Europe, in Asia, in South America starting out. So this could also be an opportunity for students to move abroad if that's what they want to do. I've done it now twice, as I previously said, once for oil and gas and once for offshore wind. And it was truly like the best decision that I have made were in those moves, because it allowed me to grow and learn about different cultures and then be able to bring that back to the US where it's so needed. I would say that it is a fantastic industry to be a part of. Right now it's very small because it's such a nascent industry here in the US. I mean, it's more established abroad, especially in Europe, because this is an industry that started 30 years ago. But to be a part of it now, when it's so new to the US, is truly special because you can really make an impact in every field that you can get into. I really encourage everyone to have a deeper look, to understand the places where they think, based on their interests, where they could line it up and align with what is needed to build these offshore fields, and really just go for it. Don't hesitate. And if they can find a mentor that they think mirrors a career that they may want to follow, do not be afraid, because most people are more than willing to teach and reach out and help out. I've relied on my mentors to kind of show me the way and guide me in the process, and I can only hope that I can do that for the next generation coming up.